we are still very much influenced by what the Britishers left us with. You know, it was always English represents class. Whether it meant anything, whether it really is class, no. But they left us with the impression that to talk in English means you got class.
Till now we are under the influence of the Western culture, especially the British culture, the music, the dances, the books, the movies, everything.
It's a throwback to the British rule we had. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not true that English is class, but we are brainwashed into believing it, and unfortunately we do believe it.
We must change our attitudes, our minds. We must realize that from now on you are no more a colonial, but a free and independent people.
The African sun set on the Union Jack, but not on the English language.
I have it in command from the Queen to read to you the following message from Her Majesty to her people of Nigeria. As you assume the heavy responsibilities of independence, I send my good wishes.
Africa needs a linked language even more than India, and English, or Creole English, provides it. This is Paramount Chief Anlath II. Just in his tiny chiefdom, there are 6 languages spoken. Africa itself has over 1,000 languages.
Most people talk Timni and the others talk Susu, but we have some minority tribes like Locos, we have Limbas as well, we have the Fulas, and the Madingos are here.
The African nations with hundreds of languages need a lingua franca, and 16 countries have retained English since decolonization. English Creoles are spreading rapidly throughout the markets and bazaars of West Africa. Perhaps as many as 200 million people now speak them. And Standard English is taught in Africa's schools. For these children, good English spelling and grammar will be vital for a career in law, medicine, or government. As president of Sierra Leone, Siaka Stevens welcomed the role of Standard English in Africa's future.
Once the people chart their own course and they know what they're about, they realize, as we do here, that the purpose of education is not to rid yourself of your own culture, but to get as much as you can from outside, mix it with your own, and get something solid. If you want to earn your daily bread, the best thing to do to learn English. That is the source from which most of the jobs come.
This West African bauxite mine is owned by the Swiss multinational Aller Suisse, but English is the day-to-day language of operations.
We're going to finish very soon this mine phase.
We will be closing the road, this road that is now used by public transport to go to Sirabu.
Most of the people here are speaking English quite fluently. Maybe it's not classical English, but it's English. So it's the only mean of communication. There is quite a high turnover in our company. That means after 4, 5 or 6 years, the people are leaving the company. Who will replace them? Nobody knows. A German may be replaced by an English may be replaced by a German. So we have to use a language which is common for everybody. And this language is, of course, English.
The mine workers here speak 6 different African languages. so they talk Creole English to each other.
For this trip, you make sure say the trailer door lock before you move the vehicle. And when you move the vehicle, you foresee say it's straight. The unit, the tractor and the trailer body, they're all straight. Before you come down that hill, they for come down at the quarters. Yes,
go now. Go now, everybody to his tractor. Start.
English may be a legacy of the British Empire, but it has found new drive in the dynamism and power of the United States.
Language is associated with certain type of power, the economic power, political power. America has that. American variety might take over as an international variety. It's a kind of variety with virility, with certain character, and this is already happening. So I feel that the chances of the spread and impact of American English are greater than of British English.
As the 20th century advances, the influence of American English has grown with the growth of American military and economic power. But that influence is older than people think.
I don't think, there's ever been a survey by a responsible statistical body to find out what is the most influential form of English in the world. Everybody has his prejudices. I have one friend who says, I like Englishmen to speak English and Americans to speak American. And I say, talk to me for 5 minutes. And if he does, he's using, say, 300 Americanisms that came in 60 years ago, 100 years ago, and so on.
William Safire is America's most widely read language guru. Safire says that it's the sheer volume of American slang and jargon now flooding into the language round the world that's the measure of its power and influence.
American English, it swings a little. It's slangy. It flexes its muscles. Carl Sandburg once said that slang is English with its sleeves rolled up. And American English, I think, more than British English, welcomes slang.
One striking example of the way in which the English language is constantly and rapidly growing and adapting and changing is the influence of California. In this breeding ground for every new kind of lifestyle, every fresh form of religious practice or cult of self-improvement, the state that thrives on defense contracts and flower children, this home of Hollywood and Disneyland and media politics, California's huge energy has overflowed into the language.
So, Mark, what did you do today? Well, I got this new stick and I was cranking on some radical tube. Oh, yeah, sure. How big was it? It was, radically overhead, man. Oh, give it up. This is take 2. Life's a beach. 1, 2, 3, hey!
California is still drumming teenage slang into world English. The surf punks put surf talk into their new single, Life's a Beach.
So check it out, dude. I was cruising the beach yesterday. And the waves, they were totally cranking. It was really hot. These certain words find their way into the whole language, and some of it's pretty off the wall. Check it out. Did you witness my radical tube ride? In surfing, when the wave curls over, and that's like the tube or the pocket. So if you're in the tube, you're taking the highest risk, and you're very rad. Oh, wow, that was really